I'm gonna go to Monaco. I go to Barcelona to meet up with some friends. We're gonna go to Brazil. And he's like, well, let's do Paris. And I said, okay. We ended up going to Cabo for one of my childhood friends' wedding. I board a flight and I head to Denmark for the first time. We hop on a flight to go to Nigeria. Already had plans to go to Budapest for New Year's. And so we went to Cartagena, Colombia, and it was a very affordable trip. And then we had gone to Key West. We did Miami and Key West with his mom. We weren't just going to Spain. We were also gonna go to see his family in Denmark. And then we were also gonna go to Portugal for 2 days. I know a lot of you are thinking like, how are you traveling? He was making a...
Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a part 2 of my Danish Deception video I made. So if you don't know, this part 2. Part 1 is on my channel, so you can view it, and this is the thumbnail. So yes, I've seen updates or kind of people's views on TikTok I would like to bring here, and which I agree with them. So yes, I'm going to play some videos. Shout out to all the creators on TikTok doing videos about it, but I also want to look at their view and also talk about it, so please pay attention.
Reesa Tessa's Who the Fuck Did I Marry had a key ingredient that is missing in the Danish Deception, and that secret sauce is why Onyeka is struggling to connect with audiences in the same way that Reesa did. Let's talk about it. I recently finished watching the Danish Deception, and I've also been combing through the comments, and I'm realizing more and more that people are struggling to feel an ounce of remorse for Onyeka, and this is, in my opinion, because she has failed to hold herself accountable in the role she played in this scam. And when I say hold herself accountable, I'm in no way victim blaming. I simply mean a lot of her story is external and the internal monologue is not happening. And this is very much unlike Reesa, where when Reesa was telling us her story, she gave us a peep into what she was going through emotionally that made it easy for Legion to scam her. We don't see that with Onyeka, because the truth of the matter is this. Scammers, or let me say perpetrators, oftentimes pick their victims. And they do this so that they can maximize their chances of success and minimize the risk. Now, a risky victim is somebody, for example, that is very no-nonsense and would take your ass to the police the first time you try to scam them. Or a risky victim is somebody that, for example, doesn't believe in sending a man money. A risky victim, again, would be, for example, somebody that overshares, somebody that doesn't have secrets, somebody that isn't private, somebody that is shameless, meaning they will put their business out there. They will warn their family and friends when they're going through things. That is not a profile of a perfect victim. But Onyeka, on the other hand, was, in my opinion, a perfect victim, because as hard as it is to admit, she is a typical pick-me, and we see the first sign of this, I think, even in part 1, when she's talking about how she went to Croatia with her friend and they're sitting at a dinner table, and she says she doesn't know how to cook, but for the right man she will make that effort. That was the first sign that this man took in realizing she would make a perfect victim. The incessant and desperate need to be chosen raised its ugly head several times throughout the series, but the foundation, in my opinion, was laid when they went on their first trip together to, was it Monaco? And she wanted a Dior bag, but she didn't take it because she wanted to prove to this man that she's not like other women and that she's not just with him for his money. This man could spot that better woman, quote unquote, narrative she was weaving from a mile away, and like a scammer, he took advantage of it. A lot of times perpetrators will put out little testers to see if you will make the perfect victim. In Onyeka's case, number 3 was how trusting she was. This man told her that he's royalty. She never checked it. He told her he's a Olympic medalist. She never checked it. He told her that he's buying a multi-million-dollar, is it apartment or a complex? She never vetted it, even though she's in real estate. That made it easy for him to prey on her. The plotting and the planning finally paid off when this man complained that he needed an advance on some apartment that he had just invested in. And Onyeka, without being asked, not only offered to give him a loan, but insisted repeatedly that he accept help from her. And this was before she had met his family. This was before she had been to his hometown. This was before she met his closest circle of friends. This was before she had set a foot in his apartment, had been to his workplace. All she knew really about this man was his name and last name, if that was even true. For the viewers who struggle to connect with the way this story was narrated, myself included, I think Onyeka would have done this story a world of good if she had found some balance between the external and the internal. Meaning, she is a beautiful, educated woman that comes from a well-to-do family. She has her own car, she has her own house, she seems to be having a good career, and yet something in her was missing, was lacking, that it made it easy for this man to bamboozle her. What is that thing? And yes, keep it brutally honest and raw. Tell us, admit, because we're all thinking it. Admit that him being white made it easier for you to scam. Him being European made it easier for you to trust. Admit to us that had this man not left you, you might still be married to him. You might still be fighting to make this marriage work like you did when you were begging him not to leave. Admit to us that you only started doing investigation and talking to your friends and cross-referencing because the spiel was up and there was no way that you could make this marriage work. While it's all good and well to admit that you felt some resentment towards his family keeping from you information that he had a gambling problem 10 years prior, also be honest enough to admit that it probably wouldn't have made much of a difference, because 2 out of the 3 years that you were with this man, you knew he had a gambling problem. You knew that he was heavy in debt, and yet you were complicit in covering up for him and keeping his secrets. That's why your family and your friends were also scammed by this man, because you never told your immediate circle about what was happening. And finally, while this story does serve as a cautionary tale, and yes, we should all be wary of not just him, but men or people like him, I wish Onyeka would also admit that as much as she's trying to empower other people by telling this story, she's also trying to get her lick back. As a woman that's been scorned before, it takes one to know one, babes. And there is nothing wrong with admitting that, because those are real and human emotions. To want to get a sense of revenge when you've been that deeply hurt is valid. And admitting that in the story could have brought people closer to you. All in all, it was a good story. And even with my critique of its delivery, doesn't change the fact that it was a really, really good story, and it is a good series. And if you haven't watched it, go find Onyeka, the Danish Deception.
Am I proud of this content? Of course I am. I spoke eloquently, I made sense, and I was real. Girl, Onyeka, like, it's okay just to say, you know what, guys, I was a little dumb. That was dumb of me. That's what actually like connects people to people on the internet. That's what made Reesa Tessa so likable and gave her a career after this. Be so for real, girl. You know, a little bit of you like the fact that, and hope I'm not overly clucking your tea right now. I'll hold your hand when I say this. We all saw your Instagram, you know, we all see you at the end of all the photos with all your white friends. I'm sure it gave you an ego boost, you know, a social bump when you came in with this tall Danish white man that went to Europe with you in Kenwa. Now you're feeling, you know, more accepted by your white friends. Now you're feeling like, you know, your white friends are feeling like your husband is hot. Let's talk the real reality things now. It's okay to feel like that. Like, that's not an issue, but don't act like, oh my gosh. Really? Only one man. His dog is this. His apartments are flooding. They're catching on fire. This one. The IRS is taking his money. He's going to court hearing. Like, auntie, even you too, you're a Nigerian girl from Dallas that goes to the village. Be so for real. You know you enjoyed a bit of the tease, and that's a part of the reason why you kept it running for so long. And a part of the reason why you didn't even leave him here to leave you. Like, sis, I'm not even trying to, like, jump on you. I'm just more saying, if you're gonna come with this long story, be for real. I also am a Nigerian American girl raised and socialized around white people. Okay, I went to private schools my whole life. But this kind of talk, all this, I came here to spread awareness. Like, okay, but be so for real. Like, be for real. You didn't like the way the internet is doing what the internet does. But at the end of the day, the internet is comprised of a body of people, just like a jury that has common sense, and we're gonna, investigate the facts of the case. And the facts of the case remain that, girl, cognitive dissonance day. Just admit it. Be like, you know what, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this was a little dumb. Like, yeah, it was actually a little dumb. I enjoyed the social boost. I wanted to be married. I wanted to be, I hang around white people. I wanted to, be associated with white people. It's okay. Nobody's gonna beat you up. But pretending like you're this perfect victim is corny. That's just the thing. So thank you for the paragraph. Yes, I am very proud of my content. I give it up to peasy, squeezy, to leasy. One thing about me and my content, girl, watch my big fat Nigerian wedding, watch Tea with Chi TV, watch Chiato. I really do. I gives it up heavy. But yeah, just like be honest with yourself. You liked it. And that's how you entered it. Pom quem. Okay? Okay. Bye, girl. Whitey.
If you're black, not. And I asked Michael, why didn't you bring this up to me? He goes, well, Onyeka, you're Nigerian. Like, that's a scamming capital of the world. I didn't know if you were in on it. And that's when
Guys, as you already know, if you watch my part 1, you know that I didn't watch all the 27 parts. I didn't have time to watch it, so I was watching the summary. But I came across this video on social media and I was like, what? Like, I don't know, for my Nigerians watching this channel, like you are watching this video, aren't you like offended? I mean, I'm not even Nigerian and I'm offended for you guys. Like, you are trying to say that the friend didn't tell you he's coming or he's owing him because he thought you were in on it, and Nigeria, oh God Almighty. These are the kind of people she's associating herself with. People that don't have good intentions for you, or they look down on you and you are being friends with them. In fact, this girl, if you go into her history, if you go into her social media page, I don't say hate on her, but a lot of perception a lot of people have on her, and we are not feeling sorry for her. It's because of the kind of life she has left. She's human though, she can change, but we are not surprised this happened to her. In fact, scamming is bad, fraud is very bad, but looking at the other stories coming out, as I said, I didn't watch all the parts 27. It's long. We can't. Those who were able to see through all the 27 parts, they've done well. In fact, still more stories, or like people are still dissecting it, and if you like, I'll be uploading here. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Like, comment. In fact, this is an African sister, so we have to what? Comment on what you think about this topic, and I'll see you next time. Bye.